And on people, we are Tottenham TV here, back again with another opposition preview with the big one coming up on Sunday in the build-up to the North London derby against Arsenal in what is set to be a feisty affair. For all our Korean fans watching on our Korean channel, you might recognise this guy to my left. It's Peter, who appears very often on Dulcinea and Korea. We saw that he was in London. We thought, is he brave enough to come to the studio? We weren't sure about it. We put a message out there. Initially, we thought he's running scared, but you know what? Here he is, into the Lion's Den. Welcome, Peter, to the show. Big up to you.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And it doesn't take too much courage to be on Tottenham TV at the moment. Although, no. I was worried I was getting mugged because it's pretty dark outside. I thought you'd get like 10 Spurs fans to jump me outside. But what a lovely studio. Thanks for having me, because we were going to do a link up on a video thing a while back for a North London derby, and I really tried my best to make some time, and I thought it wasn't going to work, but then I thought, with Tottenham in the position they're in now, I may not get another opportunity to come in the studio with such confidence.
A lot of confidence, but still no trophies as of yet, Peter, so please pipe down.
All right, are you going to talk about the Europa Cup? Is it going to be a Europa Cup special?
First I want to talk about, so I don't know if you've had, I'm sure you've had a chance to talk about it, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Son Heung-min.
Yes.
I want to talk about him just for a sec, because he obviously left Spurs in the summer off the back of winning the Europa League trophy. He is gone, but not forgotten. Come on.
Oh, there we go. Wow. What is that? Is that a special edition?
Special edition.
Fantastic.
We always remember Son around these parts.
That's beautiful.
Our captain-in-chief.
How do you feel about the current captain-in-chief?
We'll get on to him. Were you happy for Son winning the Europa League? Were you happy for him?
Well, you know, our Korean fans will know, but on your other side, the only reason that I'm big in football circles in Korea is because I'm the representative Arsenal fan, and the statement I made that went viral was that, don't forget, Koreans, you are not Tottenham fans, you're Son Heung-min fans, right? And I too am a Son Heung-min fan. I'm half Korean as well. And so I was so torn whenever he played so well for you guys as an Arsenal fan. And him leaving, well, that's another issue. But him winning the Europa Cup, I've got to say, to cap it off, if I knew he was going to leave Spurs and that would be his last opportunity to win a trophy, I would have said, yeah, okay, sure, I can take that deal, because I was hoping that we'd win something as well. But we're saving it all for this season. And so I was happy for him. Of course, I was not happy for Spurs winning a trophy, although finishing 17th, you kind of did it the Spurs way.
Doesn't matter. So, you know what? Champions League and a trophy. I'm not sure what you did last season. Did you get a trophy? I don't remember that. I don't remember your parade.
No, I don't think so.
Did you have a parade at the end of last season?
No, we watched your parade with a lot of jealousy. But I would like to put this question to you then. If a trophy is so important, to go one better, Champions League winning that and getting relegated, would you take that?
If you offered me right now, I'm taking it.
Seriously?
I'm taking it.
Wow.
Champions League, or to complete that roster of European trophies, by the way. You know, we do have good pedigree in Europe. I think I could stomach a year in the Championship. I'm assuming it's going to be a year. I could stomach a year in the Championship for a Champions League. I could.
Okay, because like on Dulcinea, on the Korean channel that I'm on, they're always putting kind of conundrums to me, like if Arsenal could win the quadruple and Spurs then win the Champions League, so we'd win the treble and you'd win the Champions League, would you take that? I don't know. I don't know, because you'd never let us live it down.
Absolutely.
You'd be like, well, we won the biggest one out of the lot, right? And then they'll put to me, would you rather Spurs get relegated or you guys win the league? And I've seen us win the league multiple times, so I think I'd rather see Spurs relegated, to be honest. Which I don't know. Does that make me a terrible Arsenal fan?
Well, it wasn't just a hypothetical for us a couple of years ago when it came to in the Champions League.
Yes.
And it was very much, would you want Tottenham to win this game against Man City and get in the Champions League or lose and stop Arsenal winning the league? And unanimously, it was, let's lose this game. To the effect that we were celebrating in the stands when it happened.
So you must have been quite annoyed coming back against Man City, you know, because...
I was. I was like, of all results for Thomas Frank to get,
before he gets sacked.
He had to take 4 points off Man City, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Classic.
I wonder, though, how you guys have been after Son. Because obviously, as Spurs fans, I think a lot of Spurs fans were kind of bittersweet. They could see that he wasn't the same in his final season, but he's gone over to LAFC, and I know it's a different standard, but he has ripped it up massively.
You know what? We're looking at our team at the moment, and we could use Son.
Yeah,
100%. Especially what I'm looking. Well, I know it's MLS, but he's still doing for Korea on an international level, doing very well.
Yeah.
And I look at our left-hand side.
Yeah.
We've been playing Jed Spence there some games, so I'm thinking. What, one more year? Could we even in January gone? Come on, give us 3 months. Give us a loan.
That's what I was hoping for.
Done that, those MLS loans.
Yeah, when Thierry Henry would come back to this club or Beckham, and I was surprised that he didn't. But I think he's all in on the World Cup, like keeping his fitness levels high for that, which was a bit of a shame. But
absolutely. So I think it's. I would have liked Spurs to have explored that opportunity. I'm sure Son, looking at us in the predicament we are in, would he have gone? I'm going to come and save you, Superman coming to the rescue.
Yeah.
I think he might have considered it.
Surely.
Considering they're on a break, they only just come back now, or they come back this week. So I would have liked to Spurs to explore it, but it seems as though that chapter's finished, which is a massive shame.
It is a shame. I'm sure he would have come back because he really does seem like a Tottenham man after being there so long, capping it off with a trophy. And I got to say, like, perspective from the Korean market, I don't know how the Korean channel is doing, but like football channels in general, football ones, in Korea have just nosedived since he's left. And so everyone has now tried to become an MLS expert, and they're finding it very difficult because it's an interesting league to watch. And so I've set up my own channel, and that was doing really well, but now Son's gone. Even as an Arsenal fan, less attention because Yan Mignot's not playing for you guys, and he's not doing very well either. No. So there's a big dip in, like, general football fans watching it, like the hardcore ones still, for sure. And I wonder how many Tottenham fans are in Korea. And I've said that a few times. I'm really curious, guys. Let me know how many Tottenham fans.
We still have a lot of Koreans watching our main channel and stuff, but 100% I've noticed a drop-off. But I do think an influx is coming again. There's a lot of good young Korean players. One plays for Newcastle, who's on the bench. Birmingham City have a Korean player.
Yeah, down at Stoke as well.
Stoke, PSG, obviously we know, Lee Kang-in. So there's a golden generation, I feel, might be coming up, but they're very young. So I think it just needs a bit of time. But 100%, Son leaving the Premier League, because we've missed him massively. I think just the Premier League missed him. His smile, I think what he gave. And also, you know, in the Premier League, there's been a big shift to players only playing from set pieces and no one do long shots anymore. And Sonny was just the king of those things.
Yeah, running on and doing that. Even as an Arsenal fan, I love seeing him. Both feet as well.
So you miss him? You miss Son?
I miss Son because I don't like watching him at LAFC. Maybe as much as I didn't like watching him at White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Stadium.
Well, last time we saw each other was before, I think, a year before maybe even, we won the Europa League. And I was giving you a hard time about, yes, you've got the domestic stronghold over us with league titles and FA Cups, but European success, that's our realm. That's where we are. I just want to ask you, do you know what it's like to lift a European trophy?
The Interfairs Cup, I think we won maybe twice, back in the 70s, before I was born. I do remember the Cup Winners' Cup, like in the early 90s against Parma, and we nearly won it 2 seasons in a row, apart from Naeem, former Spurs player from the halfway line.
Another cup that doesn't exist.
So I've tried to convince all Korean football fans that Cup Winners' Cup and UEFA Cup are on par, or Europa League are on par. So I've been lying a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, I was very jealous of you guys. And getting into the Champions League off of the back of that, and then seeing you sack Postecoglou, I couldn't believe that, to be honest. Like, a trophy after all this time, and a big one. And after Frank, it would have been surely better to stick. Although his Nottingham Forest stint wasn't that good. And I thought maybe they'd bring him back for the last few games. I'm not sure what you're doing with Igor Tudor. He's never managed or played in the Premier League.
He's a Serie A firefighter. He's a Serie A San
I've heard that,
so we need someone to just, get the players back on side, motivate them, and also someone who's got that undercurrent threat of violence. Someone who looks like you're not going to mess with him, I think. I think Romero's not going to come late to training again.
I hope not. Or I would love to see a bust up between those two. That would be interesting.
So I know we'll get onto Tottenham in a minute and our struggles, but given that we did win that trophy, this season, Arsenal have a lot of fingers and a lot of pies in the moment.
Yes.
Carabao Cup final, still in the FA Cup, Champions League round of, top 8 they finish and into the round of 16.
Yes.
Top of the league at the moment. There has to be a trophy at the end of this as well, surely, for Arsenal. If there isn't,
If there isn't, I might quit football, really. Especially if we don't win the league after 3 second-place finishes. You know, the last time we done that, like late 90s, early 2000s, we won the league the 4th season. If Man City catch us up after us really being heavy favourites for, I think, the first time, because the first time we finished second, that was a complete surprise. Second time, City was still City. And then the third time, Liverpool just coasted it for the second half of the season. We've been head and shoulders above the rest in terms of our squad depth and things like that. If we don't win the league this season, not even just a trophy like the Carabao or FA Cup, if we don't win the league, that is a disaster.
Would you say anything below like a double would be a disappointment at this point? Or you don't want to heap the pressure on the players?
I have said that a lot on Dallas today. I've said at least a double. At least a double.
Pile the pressure on. Keep going.
To be honest, I've said no, we're going to win all 4 easily.
I think if it's not a quadruple, I think it's a disaster of a season.
No, but now I saw a post today, and it really makes sense. Like, City are in a similar position. You know, they're in the Carabao Cup final. They're just a few points behind. They look like they're starting to warm up for the second half of the season, for the last third of the season.
That's where they come alive, the final stretch.
They could easily, and I hate to say this as an Arsenal fan, they could win the quadruple, right? We could be left with nothing. And if that happened, I would be gutted, because I feel that this City team is not the one of 2-3 seasons ago. You know, Guardiola is not the same force that he is anymore.
What do you think of the narrative that the only thing stopping Arsenal at the moment is kind of, in a weird way, their fans? The anxiety. It's the kind of PTSD they're suffering through for the so many near misses in the recent years. You can almost feel it at home to Man United. The nerves in that stadium in a big game. I understand they lost, but a few boos coming out at the end, and a few people just getting on the team's back. You know, they want you to walk it at this point almost, because they don't want the kind of nerves of a tight race. Because they don't. I don't think they could handle it, because you've lost out on so many tight races. It's unless you're 12 points clear, it's like you can't sit comfortably.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I don't know if those fans that do boo are the real hardcore Arsenal fans. You know, the same with the London Stadium. Lots of tourist fans, and maybe they just boo to get into that atmosphere when the home team is losing. Definitely the anxiety is from a lot of real Arsenal fans as well. But it's understandable. 20-odd years, 21 years since we won the title, right? And coming so close in 3 seasons on the trot, right? So the anxiety's there. But I, and now a couple of other high-profile Arsenal fans in Korea, we've decided we're just going to say we're going to win. We're going to be optimistic now. What's the point in being so tense and being so anxious, right? We're doing this because we love our team. So let's say we're going to win. Like Postecoglou, second season, going to win the trophy, right? It worked for him. It's going to work for us as well.
Manifest it.
Yes, absolutely. So I can understand those who get anxious because it has been so long. That's just natural. But I'm not one of them. I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it this season. We've got the squad. The depth is unbelievable, right? And yeah, drawing against Brentford, that was not great. But if you put it through another lens, they are one of the form teams in the Premier League. And at home, they're tough. They were 7th, right? And their long balls, their long throws, they cause anyone chaos. Of course, we've got the same in our artillery as well. But that's not a bad result away to Brentford, right? Right?
You're not getting no assurance from me, mate. It's not the best result, I would say.
No, we wanted to win, of course. And if we don't beat Wolves away, then we've got trouble. Yeah.
Although you nearly drew at home.
Yeah, they did give us a tough game. But we scraped through. And that was when Wolves were having their new manager bounce. So as long as we win any which way, I'll be happy. Yeah.
When it comes to opposition Premier League fans, it's a very weird situation, because in theory, I think in years gone by, right, when you've had Man United win so many trophies year on year, they became everyone's number one rival. Everyone hated Man United.
Sure.
And yet Man City have won 6 of the last 7 or something ridiculous. And everyone is wanting. I know I'm a Tottenham fan, so maybe I'm a bit biased. I don't know if you felt this, but there is a big clamour for Arsenal to bottle it from within the Premier League fan bases and opposition fans. I don't know how it is out in Korea, and if you've felt it, or maybe on social media, but it seems as though everyone amongst the Premier League is united in wanting City to overtake Arsenal. Have you felt that, and what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I do feel that in Korea for sure, apart from the Arsenal fans out there. And I've got to say, after Son left, a lot more have piped up, right? A lot were in their shell, like hiding in their caves, because they were like, we can't criticise Tottenham because Son is a god here. But since he's left, they've come out in their massive, and I'm not saying this just to like hate on Tottenham, but the number of Son Heung-min shirts you now see, like Tottenham shirts on the street, it is plummeted, like nosedived. And the number of Arsenal shirts is not to the levels of Spurs shirts at Son's peak, but it's so many more. So aside from them, though, I have seen, and I've got so many DMs because I am that figure of hate for the true hardcore Spurs and Son fans. They are saying anybody, like Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, they're all going to get you. Villa are going to win. Wouldn't it be funny if Emery picked you to the title? I was like, no, that would not be funny at all. And I can't believe it, though, from like English football fans. Man City have won it so many times, and it's just all Abu Dhabi money, and yet they prefer that over Arsenal, the Arsenal way. Come on.
You know, when I was growing up, and obviously I had a massive disdain for Arsenal growing up, a disgust. I hated them, didn't like the fans. And, you know, as I've grown older, it's nice to know that maybe it just wasn't my bias that I had the disgust. I think everyone can see it now amongst the Premier League, how insufferable the Arsenal fan base is.
I think the problem has been us coming second 3 times in a row. So it just makes it funnier and funnier every time we're a near miss. And if we won the title that first season, we had a lot of neutral fans. When we were playing really exciting football, we had all the youngsters come through, Smith Rowe and Saka and whatnot, and everyone was egging us on. But it's just become, I will admit it, more pragmatic football. You know, in this season, we're the set-piece kings, blah, blah, blah. I don't care if we win the title, but if we didn't, it would be funny. I could see that from a neutral point of view. Like, boring Arsenal, and you still don't win, then what's the point? So I do get it, but still, think about it. If there are any neutral fans watching We Are Tottenham TV, think about City or Arsenal, come on. A new title winner for the... Like, kids growing up won't know that Arsenal win titles, right? That is a sad thought. No!
That's how it should be.
There's never been a period this long, even in your lifetime, that Arsenal have not won a title.
Correct.
Right? It's ridiculous. My son has no idea Arsenal win trophies. And I'm like, come on.
But to win it with corners and long throws, the damage you are going to do to football long term.
Well, George Graham has done it before, and football was fine.
In terms of Arteta, for you, he has to win something to continue in the job, or even if you, let's say you finish second in every tournament, does he continue?
Like, objectively, that's a good season. Runners up in the Champions League, runners up in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, runners up in the league, right? You can't say that's a bad season. But I don't think Arteta would stay himself.
You reckon he would resign?
I think he would say, look, after I've spent all this money, and to be honest, I was so shocked we spent that much money in the summer, clinching Eze, stealing him from you guys. I was like, that was not a necessary signing, in my opinion. Like, that was just to cover all the bases. And with all the bases covered, and he still doesn't win it, and City are in this shape that they're in until this point in the season, I think he would say, there's no more I can do. I don't think he'd stay. And I think Arsenal fans would be not happy to see him go, but they would maybe like Postecoglou leaving in different circumstances, but they'd wish him the best.
But how would you feel, let's say he did leave, Pep leaves at the end of the summer, and he goes to Man City?
Well, that's not going to happen. If that happens,
that
then he's ruined all the hard work. No, Maresca is waiting for that position. You take it, and then...
So you wouldn't wish him well at Man City?
No way. No, he wouldn't go to another Premier League team. Surely. I couldn't see that. He'd go to Spain. Surely he'd take on one of the big clubs there. Yeah.
I don't know. Does he have that emotional... I guess he does have that emotional connection to Arsenal, but...
Yeah, and with Barcelona, there might be something at PSG.
Is he more... You know, he was at Man City, remember, for a long time.
Yeah, but even when he was there, he never celebrated the goals against Arsenal, so I did appreciate that. That was a nice touch.
If he was that loyal, he could have said, you know what, don't shoot from this range, from over here in this game, you know? Actually, don't put the corner right on the
He came up with, I think it was in the Carabao Cup, maybe the final or some stage, Guardiola gave Arteta the chance to do the game plan against Arsenal. I think they beat us 3 or 4-1. Yeah, so that wasn't so kind of him. But surely his loyalties now lie with Arsenal. I cannot see him go to Man City. If he did that, that would be treacherous.
Depends how much money the Saudis, Abu Dhabi will offer him. It depends. It absolutely depends. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if it doesn't happen this season, because the pressure's on. As much as, yes, you've done very well to get in the position that you have done.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you look like if I'm being honest, you are favourites for all 4 tournaments.
Yeah.
You're favourites.
Yeah.
With the bookies and everything.
It's very unlikely we'll win all 4 because no one's ever done it. But you're right, we are in pole position for all of them.
I feel like what could set the tone is that Carabao Cup final.
Yes.
If you win that, I think that could set the tone for the rest of the season. If you bottle it or lose. I feel like that psychological effect damage that could do is going to be, it could be too much. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we talked about that on Dulcinea recently as well. You know, you saw Mourinho, you saw Guardiola. Their first trophies in England were the Carabao Cup, the League Cup at the time. And so for Arteta, although he's won the FA Cup, that was an odd season where he took over, you know, in the middle of it. It was COVID and whatnot. So
I'm glad you acknowledge it doesn't count that one.
No, it totally counts.
Yeah, no, it doesn't count.
The record FA Cup winners in history. But to be honest, our League Cup record is pitiful. We've won it maybe twice, I think, in our history. The last time was when we did the double, right? The FA Cup and the League Cup in the early 90s.
I think we have 3 League Cups.
Yeah, okay, well done. You have the worst trophy. And what I want to ask you then, if that can be a platform for future success, what was it, 2008? Was it the Worthington Cup? How did that pan out afterwards?
Yeah, it led to Harry Redknapp. It all
there
turned out for the best.
Yeah, that was fun when he was there. I must. Did you not want him to come back in temporary charge? I thought you need a vibes man.
Maybe, but he's 79. He hasn't managed in 10 years. I can't be sitting here frothing at the mouth for Harry Redknapp to return. You know what I mean? I think the game has passed him by. But I think the romantic thought of maybe him coming in and saving us was tantalising, it's fair to say. But I'm not here saying it would have been a good idea. No. I don't think so.
So you're happy with Tudor? The North London derby coming up. Do you not think it would have been a good idea to sacrifice Thomas Frank for the North London derby? Like, let's be honest, there's not too much chance of you getting a win there.
I think the only chance maybe was a new manager bounce.
Really?
And that's the only.
Okay.
We need something new, a new voice, someone who could get these players motivated and get stuck into Arsenal. Because you know what? I watched your game against Brentford and I was looking at, look, they put it on you.
They were good.
They were good. They didn't they didn't just sit back and allow you to play your football. They stuck it on you. I know they very much did play for set pieces and long throws, but they were going at you and they were pressing you. And we just, at the moment, Thomas Frank had lost his voice in that dressing room. They weren't listening to him. They had been sick and tired of the football he was playing. They didn't believe in him. And they just need a manager who they respect, someone who could get them just a different voice, someone who can get them playing in a different way. And I think Igor Tudor, I know he's not the best manager in the world, but he does have a track record of coming in and getting instant results and getting an instant uptick, even in very similar situations to where we are now. And he's managed big clubs before, like Marseille, Juventus, Lazio. So this isn't anything new to him coming into a big club in a kind of situation where they're expecting instant results.
Yeah.
So for me, I understand the logic in getting him right now, and I think it probably gives us a much better chance than having Thomas Frank in charge. And to be honest, the way Thomas Frank approached that North London derby in November was a sackable offence in itself. That was pitiful. I've never seen a more cowardly North London derby performance from us. We just basically gave you the amount of time, all the time in the world, to take as many shots as you want. We allowed Eze to score a hat-trick after he embarrassed us in the summer. So he should have been, you know what, and there was rumours that our sporting director at the time, Paratici, wanted him sacked, but he wasn't listened to, and that's what ended up getting. He ended up resigning over it, and now here we are, a few months later, and he's been proven right. But for me, I think it will probably give the Tottenham fans a bit more excitement going into this North London derby. Are you not at all worried about a new manager bounce? And the fact is, if you drop points here, Man City are breathing down your necks.
Yeah, that is the one thing that really concerns me, is we don't know what Tudor's going to be like in the Premier League. We don't know what reaction these Tottenham players are going to give to him, right? Because they've not had any games. You've had such a long break, so you know, he's had a decent amount of time by the time the game rolls round with the players as well. I heard his first interview. He's emphasising, you know, it's all about the training and he's going to be positive against Arsenal. I just hope that, you know, and I'm sure you'll agree, though you won't want to, the golfing quality at the moment and your injuries are ridiculous, right? Yeah. So we need to make that count. And it doesn't matter that it's at the London Stadium. We've won the last 4 in a row. I was looking back at the records because I thought, in living memory, I can't remember a time like this where we've won 4 in a row. And it just, I'm going back to the 80s and 70s. Neither of us has ever won 4 in a row. So we are the dominant team at the moment. And we haven't got that many big injury issues. It would just be nerves. It would just be Arsenal beating Arsenal if we lost to you, to be honest. I don't think Tudor can inspire some tactical transformation. You're right, it's all about the fight and things like that. If he gets the team up for it, then you've got a fighting chance, of course, you're at home. But recent records against you guys, we're pretty happy to take you on any time. And Tudor, I don't know. he's come in and done firefighting in Italy, but most of the time it's teams like trying to stay in the European places or challenge for that. I'm not saying your squad is worthy of being wherever you are, like 16th, 15th, but you're not the same quality of squad comparatively to the other teams in Italy, I feel. You're in a bad place.
You say that. I mean, we finished fourth in the Champions League group, didn't we? So
your fixtures were, when I looked through those, you didn't play us. Was it PSG? You played PSG. Okay, yeah. But the rest was, oh my god, that was Europa League. Yeah.
Yeah, Europa League's difficult to win. It's a very difficult tournament. It's not easy. I think that has got to be the motivation for us, obviously, going into this game, obviously stopping you. But at the end of the day, right now, we should be anyway, clawing and going for fighting for every single point we can get.
Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say, the reality is we are in a relegation battle. I think every Tottenham fan can acknowledge that right now. We are 5 points above the relegation zone. We have won 2 games in 17.
You haven't won at all this year, right?
We haven't won in 2026. We have the worst injury record of all the teams at the moment battling for that relegation spot. So as much as I do believe that we have more quality than the teams that we're fighting against, and especially when we've got a fully fit squad, I do believe we should be battling for the European spots. Right now, given the manager we've just had and the injuries we have, we are in a dogfight, an absolute dogfight. So I think we all acknowledge that situation, which in a weird way should lead to, we all know, Sunday's a bit of a free hit for us. We're not expecting a win. We're not expecting a goal. We're not expecting anything. We're just expecting the team to show some fight. We're expecting the team to give you a game, not just bend over for you like we did in November. We're expecting actually to go all out and give everything, and maybe, if a few injuries happen, hopefully not to us, but
what are you saying, Sim? Korean fans, see, this is what Tottenham are like. A few injuries happen.
They happen. You have to just go all out. And I think if you've seen Arteta leave his technical area for Arsenal, I think you ain't seen anything yet with Igor Tudor, because he is known for getting on the pitch a few times as manager for other clubs like Marseille. And for me, if Igor Tudor, if he can just square up to Arteta and make him shut up a bit and quieten him down a bit, he's going to become a cult hero instantly. So, look, what you got to understand here, it's a free hit for us. We're not expecting anything. So
you won't be disappointed if you go like attacking. He sounded like he wants to be positive, And to be honest, is Juventus
on here.
This season, they couldn't score goals. So I don't know if it was his tactics or it was the strikers, because they had Kolo Muani at the end of last season and they got a lot out of him. So I guess that's part of the decision to bring him in, maybe make the most of it. He's been awful, right?
He hasn't scored a Premier League goal. It's been terrible.
And so I guess that's part of the thinking. But I have a strong feeling he's not going to last till the end of the season. So? Do you not get those vibes?
No, I think he's going to do enough to keep us up.
So I am also very concerned about Tottenham as a neighbour. And so on Dalsonette, before the Man U game, we had a special. And it wasn't us like gaslighting or trying to provoke the Tottenham fans there, but we were saying Tottenham are in a relegation battle. That was before the Man U game, because we thought, they could easily lose to Man U, and West Ham could easily get some more results, like they've been on a good run of form. And then when Man U, when you lost to Newcastle and West Ham got the last-minute equaliser against them against Man U, it could have been 3 points, right? And so that is such a lucky shave. But looking at the remaining fixtures, I can see, because West Ham, they're on a bit of form, right? They're looking good. Somerville's looking great. Bowen's always a threat. I could see them winning maybe 6 of their remaining fixtures.
6 out of 12. I mean, that is a bit of a stretch.
It's amazing form, but their form at the moment is like that, right? And looking at their opposition, they've got some good home games, a couple of winnable aways. And from Spurs, in the worst case, I could see you maybe only winning 3 or 4. And in that case, it would be enough to swing, right? Depending on which games are drawn.
And Forest as well are in there.
Yeah, Forest, I don't know what's going to happen there. New manager bounce, we're getting rid of Dyche. But it is unbelievable that you're in this position where, quite conceivably, realistically, you could get relegated this year after winning the Europa, right? And so you got to scrap tooth and nail for every single game. But you're right. This game, say you come out attacking, you lose 4-1 again. Would you be okay? Like, we gave it a good go. Like, there was fight there. There was more XG.
See something more XG, exactly. A shot. We got a shot on target, which is a lot to say given our recent performances under Thomas Frank. We even struggled to get into the opposition half, let alone have a shot. It's been dreadful, and I think we needed something new. So obviously I'm not going to be happy if we lose 4-1, and it's going to obviously set his tenure off on a bad foot. We all understand that, but if we can, even if we do lose, if we can just show some kind of proactiveness and show that, you know, in these next 11 games after this game, that we are going to go at teams. We are going to attack teams, and we're not going to just look to scrape 0-0s or be so defensive like we have been. I think we can, if we can take something away from this derby, that will be a positive. When no one's expecting a win, I think the season probably starts after this derby. But on a weird sense, that's kind of when Tottenham do their best, when the shackles are off and the pressure's off. Everyone knows, supporting Tottenham, when everyone goes into a game saying we're going to win, we usually lose. And when everyone's going, yeah, we got no chance. Like going to that Dortmund game, we had just lost at home to West Ham. Everyone's saying we're going to get battered. Yeah. There's no chance. And we ended up winning 2-0. And it's like, it was the easiest game of the season. Yeah. And no one could believe it. So that's just the way Tottenham goes. So I think everyone's going into this game saying, yeah, no chance, Arsenal. But they're saying it with an undercurrent of, we're saying no chance, because we know if we say it, maybe the football gods will be on our side. So that's how it works.
So you wouldn't like him to just go like 10, get 10 men behind the ball, and let's just
only
try
if we
and get
the result. But no, I wouldn't want that approach.
No, really.
We want to stick it on you. We saw what Brentford did.
Yeah.
You're not infallible. I know you're a very good team, but you're not unbeatable. Okay. You are not. For me, you are not at the level of prime Man City, the Centurions, or even Liverpool when they won the league in 2020. You know, you're maybe similar level to last season, Liverpool, something like that. You know, I think they won it, 84 points. Yeah. You're probably that kind of, you know, you would be, it would be an achievement to win the league, but I'm saying you are not one of those teams, in my opinion, where you're just impossible. I know you're very good defensively, but you do struggle with open play chance creation. I think that's been seen. And as well, you've seen with the attackers you have, none of them are really firing on all cylinders, are they? So I think if you can kind of take the game to you and get something, create some sort of chances, I think Arsenal aren't the hardest team to keep quiet from open play. And then set pieces is a different matter. I guess set pieces, you know, we might be undone. But we are actually quite good at set pieces. That's one of our strengths. So if we can get some sort of advantage there, keep you a bit quiet from open play, and then somehow get some sort of chance, maybe it's one off someone's backside.
Maybe a Richarlison half-line screamer
exactly.
again.
I would take that, and maybe there's something there. But I'm not expecting anything. We know Arsenal are the better team. They come in with the better players, in the better form, in the better situation. So we understand that. But at the moment, we're going into this with a kind of, you know, it's a free hit, I think.
I'm glad that Tudor said that, and I hope he sticks to it, because I do feel, like you said, open play, it's been a struggle. And Wigan, that was just the FA Cup, and Eze looked spectacular, but it's not going to be the same against, well, it might be actually, but I don't think so.
Hasn't been the same against anyone but Spurs.
No,
that way.
Yes. So if you went for a low block, I think we might struggle. And Tudor saying that, I hope he sticks to that, because I think that would be better for us. You know, if you come out to try and play, I'm sure he's not going to be gung-ho.
No.
But there will be spaces to exploit. And with your injuries, I'm sure our quality will tell in that way. But when you've got 10 men behind the ball, we find that really difficult. Any team finds it difficult. And I'm glad you say we're not peak City, because you were pretty good against peak City. So it's going to be a walk in the park for us, yes.
In terms of Tottenham and the talk of relegation, do you really want us to go down? I think you'll miss us. You'll miss us if we go down, let's be honest.
So like you said with the Champions League and then your one season in the Championship, I could deal with that, yeah. Not the Champions League, but the going down for one season. Like, you're right. I wouldn't want you to just go down and disappear like Leeds or something like that, because that would be a bit boring, because we're not like you. Every other London team hates you, and so you've got lots of rivals, right? West Ham
all the
and Chelsea.
Teams hate us, yet the rest of the Premier League hate you. That's how it works.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. So, yeah, if Spurs were to go down for a considerable amount of time, it would have something missing, right? The Premier League without the North London derby, we've never had that in the Premier League era.
Exactly.
And so I wouldn't like it for an extended period. I would definitely like to see it, though. So, yeah, this season seems prime. And last season, Ion Dalsada was really pushing it a bit too far, saying, you never know, Tottenham could go down, although the three teams were always cut adrift. But I was saying, you know, they're 17th, and you never know what could happen. But this season, it's like, it's in touching distance.
It really is, it really is.
And so West Ham, that's my dad's team as well. So I'd love to see them stage a comeback with Nuno as well. See Forest somehow escape. and then Spurs go, that would just be, and you get to the Champions final, maybe play Arsenal, lose. And
you should be scared if we play you in a European competition.
with your pedigree.
With
yes.
our European pedigree, Romero knows how to win big games.
That Europa League final was the worst final I think I've ever seen.
You know what? Romero got man of the match, and he got player of the tournament, and he's a big tournament, big game player.
Well, how do you feel about him? Because a lot of the Korean talk about Tottenham has been, look at the comparison with Romero as captain and Son Heung-min as captain. Like, when he plays well, great, but coming out and talking against the club, you know, speaking up, I get the frustration, and he's not wrong in a lot of things he's saying, but the way Son held himself, you know, and his manners and all that. As a Tottenham fan, how do you feel? Like, a lot of Korean fans say that's embarrassing compared to Son. Like, so they're like, that's what Tottenham are missing now.
Yeah, Son was an unbelievable captain, an unbelievable representative of the club. He never kind of dropped his standards on the pitch. He always gave his all. He never spoke badly about the club. He was always an amazing ambassador about the club. Obviously, he stayed in such hard moments as well when he could have probably left for bigger things. And he always wanted. He says he always wanted to stay and win that trophy. So it's a hard act to follow. I think Heung-min Son. I think Romero is a different kind of character. He's more fiery. He's more emotional, and I think sometimes that gets the better of him. I think, obviously, to the captaincy role, he's obviously new to it at Tottenham because he's always had either Lloris or Sonny as his leader. Now he's kind of stepped into those shoes. And I think he has a lot of great qualities. I think he's very popular in the dressing room. I think he's friends with a lot of different people. I think in big moments, in big games, I think a lot of the time he does step up and does have good games. And I think he does try to drag the team up by its bootstraps a lot of the time. But when we are in moments like we are now, which the club is run horribly, the manager, no one believes in this manager. He has horrible tactics which are not befitting of a club like Tottenham Hotspur, especially for players like him who want to be challenging for the biggest trophies and stuff like that. He, unfortunately, to his detriment, he got very quickly disillusioned with what's happening at Tottenham. But I don't really blame him, because all the Tottenham fans are disillusioned with what's happening at Tottenham, and everyone can see from the outside this ain't working. It was a horrible decision to hire Thomas Frank. The club aren't backing Thomas Frank because look what they did in the transfer market. And we have 12 injuries. We sell Brennan Johnson. We go into the window, by the way, in January saying our number one target is a winger. Yeah. And we left the window with less wingers than we started with. I mean, how is that a way of running the club? It's absolutely nuts. So if I'm Romero, who's obviously captain the club, he feels responsibility for the players in the sense that he speaks for them as much as he's speaking for himself. And when he puts out these statements, he feels like he is speaking on behalf of the players and talking about how they're not happy with the situation. And yes, he's talking to the fans, but he's also talking to the ownership saying, look, this is unacceptable. You've let go of a winger when we desperately needed wingers. On top of the ones we already had, you let go of one. You only signed a player in the only place in the squad we had depth in, which was central midfield. We have 12 injuries. We're down to the bare bones. And you haven't supported the manager. You clearly don't back, and no one supports within the dressing room. And yet you've kept him on for this long. And now we're in a relegation battle. The whole thing is a mess. So for me, he is not the biggest problem at Tottenham. He is way, way down the list. And for me, if you fix the environment and we have a winning culture and an environment that's suitable of a top club, you will get a top Romero. But on the flip side, it's also unacceptable for a captain to be late for training when like he has done. Apparently, Thomas Frank gave a whole talk to the squad about standards and how they're slipping after the North London derby. He lost that game, and he was late the day after. So when that happens, when he's letting his standards slip, and obviously he's talking ill of the club, I think there is definitely an argument to say, should a captain be doing that? Is he pouring more fuel on the fire? What is he? How is he representing the club? Is he looking at look like a clown show? And I think there is credence to that argument. I think there's probably truth to it, but I would say I don't think Tottenham need any help looking like a clown show. And I don't think Romero doing it is all it does is at least lets fans know they understand what's going on from the outside, and they do care, and they also think it's unacceptable on the player side. But yeah, I think he is a good captain. I think down the line, if he stays, if we can convince him to stay, I think he will be a good leader for us. But yeah, it's an interesting situation with him.
Yeah, I think when he's on top of his game, he's one of the only players I wouldn't mind having in the Arsenal squad. You know, if he could get his mentality sorted, I will say that. But I really wonder what it's like being a Spurs fan this season. Because, yeah, like you said, we're favourites for the 4 tournaments we're in. You guys way down there. The Champions League is an anomaly for you. You surely don't feel there's potential to win that, right? You never know what could happen in a couple of one-off ties. But to get to the final...
Tudor wouldn't be the first interim to win the Champions League.
But Thomas Tuchel... Di Matteo, was it? Yes.
Di Matteo for Chelsea. They finished... I mean, they did finish 6th. It wasn't quite 17th. But, 17th in the European trophy. I've seen that book before. I've seen that movie before. So I don't think all Tottenham fans, of course, we know we're not going to win it. We know it's very unlikely. Yeah. However, when it comes to knockout ties, you never quite know. Off a two-legged tie, when we have won the European trophy last season in Europa League, I know the level of opposition is different, but the players did step up. We do have players, if they do come back from injury, are definitely better than what we're showing. And maybe with Tudor, a new voice in the group, who has experience at the top level, could we surprise some people? Maybe. I don't think we're going to go win it. Could we get to a quarterfinal? Maybe a sneak in a semi-final if we get a lucky draw. Maybe. But yeah, I don't think anyone's expecting to win it. But you never say never as long as you're in it. You're never going to rule it out.
What do you think for Arsenal, realistically? How many do you think we're going to win? Do you really think 0? Surely not.
You know what? I think you'll sneak a Carabao Cup.
Thank you for the generosity.
You'll sneak a
Better than
Carabao
nothing,
Cup.
I suppose. From a Spurs fan, that's not bad. At least one.
You'll get one. I think the nerves are going to kick in when it comes to these league titles, these Champions Leagues. And until you get over the line with a big one, I think that it's just going to keep following you around, these nerves.
It does happen. But look at Liverpool, under Klopp, winning the Champions League, winning the league, especially the league, right? It'd been so long for Liverpool. And until you do it, you don't think you could do it, right?
Yeah.
And then when you do it, you're like, oh, it's done now, And so I'm sure that's where we're at. If it's not, I'll hold my hands up and say that was a terrible season, to be honest.
I think I've seen other people saying on Sunday the whole Premier League is behind Tottenham. That's what people are saying.
Think of those 17 charges. This is not football. It's just money bankrolled by Abu Dhabi.
If they want to under the table paper bag for a referee on Sunday, make it 118 charges. Why not?
No,
I'm all for
you.
it. As long as Arsenal gets stopped. But look, prediction for Sunday.
I'm sorry, Tudor, he's an unknown quantity in the Premier League. And I've heard he speaks Italian, you've got Udogie, you've got Vicario, Romero, blah, 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 and you've worked with Kolo Muani, Kulusevski.
I don't think any of those are playing on Sunday.
Okay, there you go, right? And I just think it's going to be a tall order for you guys to shut us out. So at least 2-0.
2-0, we're not going to score. Clean sheet.
Yeah, come on. We have been, not at this moment, but very good defensively throughout the season. And you guys, I know it was a lot to do with Frank, but your goal threat has not been impressive. So, a clean sheet this time.
It has been better since Solanke's come back, though. And
he's looking good. He's looking
all right. He got a brace against Man City.
Yeah.
I think we're going to surprise a few people on Sunday. Okay. I think we're going to come flying out the traps. Arsenal are going to be shell-shocked.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if I'll win. I don't know if I'm so excited that we're going to
fly it out the traps to a 1-1 draw.
Fly out the traps to a 1-1 draw. I'll obviously take that right now.
Yeah.
But look,
I'd be devastated, to be honest. Yeah,
that's all we need. Yeah. We just need some more. I want to zoom in on some crying Arsenal fans in the crowd when we score a goal. We need some dejected. We need some AFTV rants after the game. That's what we need. We need some Arsenal fans losing their shit at the thought of another bottle.
Yeah.
So we need the doubt to creep in even more, because I can already see it. I'm already seeing it in the fan base. They're starting to crack a bit.
Yeah, because City, are there. 4 points, right? If we draw against
you should have been outside. That's where the real nerves come from. You should have been outside, shouldn't you?
That is the regret, but the squad looks really capable this time. Arteta must have learnt things from those 3 second-place finishes. So even if, God forbid, we draw to you, I hope we've still got the mettle to see it out. And we got City towards the end of the season up at the Etihad. I think this time around, we're not the Arsenal of old where we'd get thrashed there, in the running. We would hold our own. If we would win that, then it'll be okay. It'll be okay. We're going to win.
I don't know if you even believe that. I'm not by the way you're saying it. But look, Peter, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on for the pre-North London derby preview. We'll see you all very, very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.